Hello and welcome to One North Maine, BCA's award-winning magazine program for the City of Champions. My name is Peter Zimbor.
And I'm Newbie Rato, and here's coming up on another episode of One North Maine. It's Take a Veteran to School Day, where veterans talk to kids at the Hancock School about the meaning of Veterans Day. In the My Turn Gala, where 5 members were honored for their service at My Turn. Also, we take a look at the Veterans History Project, showcasing veterans to the community. Next, we're taking to the Massasoit Conference Center, where recently the Metro South Chamber of Commerce held their 95th annual meeting in Small Business Expo. And finally, the Holiday Parade, where BCA interviews John Mary, who discusses past parades and getting you ready for this upcoming parade.
All of that and more on this episode of One North Maine. Weeks ago, people all across the country celebrated Veterans Day, and school children here in the city of Brockton had their own special way of celebrating. Recently, One North Maine went to the Hancock School located on Pearl Street, where a number of veterans came into the school to explain to children what Veterans Day is, what a veteran does, and what it means to Americans.
Today we hosted the veterans in our community, family members and veterans from the local Veterans Administration building. And what we were hoping to do was have the students learn a little bit more about what veterans were and really get a good connection so that they know when Veterans Day comes along, it's certainly not just a day off, that it really has value and it means something. And I think today with the veterans speaking to the children in the classrooms, that really brought that home to them.
Well, one of the parents at a PTA meeting, Kim Sylvia, had brought up the Bring a Vet to School Day. And I work at the VA, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to have the veterans from the VA acknowledged by the kids, also help educate them on what it means to be a veteran. And it gives them also an opportunity, some of them that are in treatment, it gives them an opportunity to give something back to the community.
The main reason why I wanted to kind of have this event is that I have a grandfather who served in World War II, and he instilled such strong beliefs on honoring our veterans and our military and our men and women that I felt as though a lot of the children didn't understand the veterans and what they do. So I wanted to expose them to everybody and have them appreciate what they do.
This is how we show gratitude as educators. We show our gratitude by teaching students about their sacrifices for our liberty and our freedom. And I think that's very important, and that's something certainly we can do to give back to them so that they know how grateful we certainly are for their service to our country.
And some of them feel that they've been forgotten, some of our vets that have been here a while, some that are returning vets. So it's a nice opportunity for them to, as I mentioned, come and talk to the kids and be acknowledged by the kids.
I think it's very important because they're able to pass on such a phenomenal part of history. We had somebody from World War II all the way up to Iraq. Teaching this to a child, I think, is very emotional, I think, and it's very gratifying.
They'll learn a little bit more regarding veterans, regarding Veterans Day, certainly about the different branches of the military. They were all represented today, and in generations, in various generations were represented today.
Letting them know what it means to be a veteran, and it's not always the combat veteran, and it's folks that are serving here at home or in other places overseas that are watching the home front, and hopefully just letting them know what it means to be an American, and any time they're interacting with the vets, hopefully they're become very proud Americans.
I think they're going to understand what the meaning is, and that it is men and women, and I think they're going to have a better association when they see it on the news, in the newspaper, or somebody out on the street.
Well, Mr. Farley is in contact with me quite often, and he shares some stories of what's happening where he's at, and I send those off to our teachers, and our teachers share some stories with our students, and the work he's doing there is really impressive. And he shares us photographs also, shares with us some photographs. And the photographs are often with Iraqi children, so you know his heart is still with the children.
I'm a parent here at the Hancock as well, and my daughter was a student of Mr. Farley's last year, so I know they do have pen pals. We frequently get cards from school children. I pass out these cards, as do my co-workers. We give them to the vets on special holidays, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, and it means a lot to these vets to know that they have not been forgotten.
I believe they're going to make cards and mail it on out to him at that point. I know when he left, he gave each one of them a picture of him with that particular child, so they would really hold tight to the memories of him.
I think that in school, certainly children are learning reading, writing, math, but we're also committed to helping them build character, and so that they're proud of their country, they're proud of themselves, they're good to one another, and those are skills that are lifelong skills that they'll need. And I think certainly events like this can certainly help remind them of what it is to be a good American, a good person, a good citizen.
I just truly want to say thank you in being able to participate in such a memorable day for myself, for the administration, and for these kids, and it means a lot to me.
I'll stay involved. I'm at the VA, and we encourage people coming up and volunteering. The main number to the VA is 508-583-4500. Extension 61135 is Voluntary Service Office, and my number is 774-826-2036. And again, that's with Recreation Therapy, but we're always looking for folks to help us out with recreational activities with the vets.
My Turn was created in 1984, and they made a consistent effort to help out the youth in the transition to post-secondary education as well as to the workforce. Recently, 5 members who contributed to My Turn were honored in a dinner gala, and we were there for all the festivities.
It's been about 4 months that I've officially been CEO, although, as some of you know, I've known My Turn since 1991 when I first met Barb Duffy and Paul Pratensis and learned about this amazing organization when it was in the basement at the school department headquarters in Brockton, and just a seed of what it is today.
We can all agree on, and that is that we all want a better future for our children. We all hope that their life is just a little easier than ours, and that they have more opportunities than we had. And that's really kind of the heart of My Turn, and that's why we're here today.
From a professional perspective, Jim is president and CEO of the Harbor One Credit Union and began his career in 1972. I've also learned a little bit more about Jim, the kind of character traits that I think are so telling. And let me share with you, and for those of you that know Jim know exactly what I'm talking about. I've come to learn that he doesn't commit himself to any cause or effort unless he can truly make a difference. He immerses himself in every phase of a project or cause. I believe that this new effort just sums up Jim's approach in everything that he does: timely, innovative, and compassionate.
I just want to thank My Turn for this humbling honor. What a great organization. When you think of the work that they do in helping young people make courageous choices with so many distractions and challenges they have today, truly outstanding work, and work that we should all be proud to be associated with.
For the past 3 years I've been working at the Chamber, you get to see how difficult a job it is to manage the needs of the business community with the needs of the city's community, the region's community, balancing the needs of the nonprofits with the city government, with all the employers that support the region. Now, in 3 years, I found that very challenging. Chris has been doing it for 18 years in Plymouth, on the Cape, and lucky enough for us for the last several years at the Metro South Chamber in the Brockton area.
Thank you for this honor. I mean, when I came to Brockton 10 years ago, I saw this organization called My Turn. I saw that they were members of the chamber. I didn't quite understand what they did at the time or the impact that they had on kids' lives, but through meeting Barbara and Paul and seeing the kids firsthand as interns in our office at the Chamber of Commerce and seeing the impact that they were having on these kids, just in the basic turning up, some of these kids were better dressed than my own staff. Some of them was better dressed than me when they came walking in the door. They had poise and presence and polish that is uncharacteristic of kids their age, and I can only credit really the results that My Turn had on these young lives.
I think what Senator Joan Menard personifies is a person who recognizes that there are no throwaway kids, that there is no such thing as a parent who doesn't care. There is no such thing as a child who doesn't deserve the opportunity to become a successful adult.
Thank you very much. You've recognized me for something that I love to do, that I do every day of my job. I see so many of my friends out here that I've worked with, once a teacher, always a teacher. And there is nothing that has been more important to me in my life, other than my family, in making sure that every single child, every single student has the best possible education and help and guidance that we can give them.
I am really proud that one of the first people who came into the world at My Turn is someone who gives back to us at My Turn and is a professional, works for the Commonwealth, is married, has children, owns a house, and I can't think of anybody who I would rather have up on this stage to get this Alumni Hero Award than Renee Callahan Strong.
I look over my life now and I say, wow. And one of the things that I do when I go and I volunteer with young kids that I've been doing over the years, for the last 15, 20 years, I tell them the decisions that you make today are going to affect you for the rest of your life.
Lamar has grown and matured and is a very successful gentleman, married with the family, and so based upon the work he does in giving back to young people like we've done at My Turn, the other Alumni Hero Award, I'm proud to present to Lamar Callahan.
This type of award, the word hero award, and I don't quite understand, in all honesty, what defines a hero. All right, so for you to call me a hero, for you to call my sister Renee a hero, and these other people who have come up here is a great honor. And so in my understanding and my limited education, a hero is someone who's not afraid to fail. I certainly have failed, but I've gotten back up.
Right now, I'm in Studio A at BCA Studios on 1 North Main Street, which is the setting normally for the Veterans History Project, a very popular program that airs right here on Brockton Community Access. Through this television program, veterans from the area have been able to come into our television studios, sit down and tell stories and talk about their experiences while in the military. Here now on 1 North Main, we bring you a few select clips of the Veterans History Project here on BCA.
In answer to your question about whether there were any Japanese left on the island, there were plenty of Japanese that were left. Not only were the Japanese left who were stragglers, who didn't realize that Guadalcanal was captured, because many of them, these places were also mountainous and very hilly. So they were experts at hiding and doing these things. But we lost. I know of one particular situation, well, there was more than one. The process was when a ship was loaded and ready to leave from Guadalcanal to some other point further up in the islands, the captain of the ship would go and sign the papers. There were 3 occasions that I know of personally that they went to sign the papers, And right after the captain signed the papers, the ship would be blown up.
Good Lord.
Right in the Guadalcanal Harbor. There was one ship where they lost everybody on board. They lost 432 troops.
Oh my God. Really?
When that ship went up, you would duck
Right.
and try to get out of the way because everything was flying.
Sure, I can imagine.
All over the place.
I can imagine,
It was
yeah.
a whole ship going up but we lost 432 troops.
These were troops that were going to be landing on another island, probably, right?
From an invasion. So, in answer to your question to the Japs, whether they're there, and of course they were there, but not only were they there, they knew what was going on.
Well, at first I didn't realize that I was back in combat again, but we were firing, and then all of a sudden we started getting back return fire, and then I realized that we were back in it again. I said, holy mackerel, here I am again.
So artillery
Yeah.
shells were coming back at you.
Sure. But the interesting part of it is that 11 light Korean tanks, North Korean tanks, were attacking us. B battery, the 11th field, knocked out 7 of the 11 tanks.
Wow.
And the Air Force was called in. They knocked out three more, and the 11th one got away.
One got away.
The last guy got away, you know.
Wow. Wasn't that something, huh?
Yeah.
So did you see the tanks as you were shooting on them?
We just saw the lead tank, the first 3 lead tanks,
Yeah,
and we got all 3 of them.
got
Yeah.
the 3 lead tanks. Wow. So did
If they were heavies, we'd never done it, but they were light tanks, so we were able to do it.
the shells wouldn't have penetrated the heavy tanks? Or?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of gun were you?
Well, 155, which fired a 100-pound round with 8 pounds of powder behind it.
Yeah.
And when it came out of the muzzle, it's doing 1,950 feet a second.
Good Lord.
So there's a lot of power. When it hits, it's really blasted open.
Yeah.
No, the first tank knocked the turret right off.
Wow. Is that
Yeah.
right? Boy.
Yeah.
And so that tank got stopped, but the other two,
Yeah, the other 2 couldn't make it, yeah.
they kept coming?
Yeah, they couldn't back up and they couldn't get out, so
They tried.
that's why we got 7 of them.
Mike and Lima had been ambushed by this NVA unit in this village called Tam Key, and they sent us in to attack the village from the south. They had been hit in the north.
So Mike and Lima are companies. And
Mike and Lima.
What was your
Kilo.
Kilo.
Yeah. And then there was one other company called India. Typically 4 companies. Mike and Lima had been devastated. They took their company commander had been killed. 2 of the platoon commanders had been killed. 1 had been wounded. I think the highest ranking Marine was a staff sergeant. You know? And they were all pinned down. They couldn't get out. They were out of ammunition. So they put us on Amtrak and brought us around to the southern side of the Ville, and they sent us in. And they put India as a blocking force. And as we passed over India's lines, we just started taking on small arms fire. And we had probably 100 meters to go before we got to the tree line, before we got to the edge of the Ville. Coming across kind of a sandy area. Well, we took on casualties right up into the Ville, and right up into the tree line.
Even before you got to your position?
Yeah, once we got into the tree line, we had cover, and we had, you know, we could just find safety and cover, and we started operating in small groups. You know, just like any battle, you get, everybody gets confused, and it's chaotic, and, you know, it's not the way you trained. It's just, it's organized chaos, I guess is the best way to put it.
Recently, the Metro South Chamber of Commerce had their 95th annual meeting and Small Business Expo at a luncheon at the Massasoit Conference Center. BCA caught up with a few small business owners. Check out what they had to say.
Today marks 95 years that our chamber has been incorporated. We were started in 1913 by 12 businessmen. Today we're over 1,000 businessmen and women from 18 communities that have joined together in the best interest of the business community and creating a competitive economy in the region, the Metro South region. Today, we have over 450 people registered for our annual meeting. We have close to 60 exhibitors that are on hand, talking with each other, building business contacts, and talking with folks coming in from the public, talking with them. So it's a great opportunity for small businesses to kind of get the word out about their business, not only with each other, but with the general public, while helping us celebrate our 95 years of providing service to the area.
We found that many of our sponsors and corporate friends are also members of the local chambers of commerce. And no chamber is more important to us than the Metro South Chamber. We decided to start coming to these in part to be able to cultivate relationships with our existing donors, but it's a great way for us to meet new friends.
The biggest benefit is the number of people we get to see in one short 2 or 3 hour span. The number of things we'd have to be in touch with this many people would take us hours and a lot of dollars. For a short money, we get the chance to talk and expose ourselves to a number of people.
The Chambers is the connection, you know, by coming to these meetings and attending these events. This is where a new businessman or a business venture could come in partnership and get a lot of information on what's going on in the community here, especially in Brockton.
We see these folks come back because, on average, they walk away with 3 to 5 pieces of business. And that, for a small business, can lead to a multiplier effect and really help a business.
Well, you get to learn all the different businesses that are out there. It's a lot of not only getting to know, but a lot of marketing of your services too. We do a lot of business with the services that we've gotten acquainted with the chambers, so it's a benefit.
This will provide us with a means to hopefully get us some more business, because actually the function that I do is to bring work in-house for our people to make money and to survive, and hopefully that we'll be able to meet some of those goals and needs of some of the people out there looking for this type of a help.
Folks come out to participate not only to help us celebrate as a chamber, but also to do some business and gain some clients, and I think they will do that this year again. It's just a great opportunity to promote themselves while helping us celebrate.
Well, BC10 rents equipment to the event industry. We do tables, tents, chairs, tables, dance floor stages, lighting, something similar to this. Normally this would have a top on it, but we wanted to kind of do a little decorative theme and show you the different uses of some of the equipment that we have.
We are in charge of Special Olympics activities in 90 cities and towns in southeastern Mass, including and especially Brockton. Here locally, we have programs at the elementary and now middle and high school levels. We also have an adult program so that anybody, no matter how old they are, no matter what their ability level is, and no matter where they live in Brockton, will have access to Special Olympics activities.
We work with the disabled, providing them with jobs in-house and also out into industry. We also have a place for them to meet, to socialize. It's a little bit of everything. We also have a program for life skills to teach them how to survive in life.
Our goal is to make sure that the families who are supporting an individual with disabilities get the support that they need to enjoy their life and be part of the community.
We shelter 67 families. We have 52 permanent housing projects, housing units. We provide homeless prevention for individuals that may become homeless. And our mission is definitely to end homelessness and get people back into a home.
We're Old Colony Elder Services. We're located in Brockton. We provide services for elders living in our area. We cover all of Plymouth County and the towns of Stoughton, Easton, and Avon. The main goal is to keep people at home and prevent institutionalization.
As we meet new corporate friends at places like the Metro South Chamber event, we can invite them in. Bring a couple co-workers, get to know us a little bit. We find that the corporate support from a financial standpoint usually follows where the employees are volunteering and spending their time. So it's a pretty simple strategy, and it's working even in this down economy.
There is a lot of business still being done despite this economic downturn. I think Massachusetts, and in particular Metro South, is better positioned to weather this economic storm. And I think folks would benefit by opening their door and getting out and getting to the chamber and doing some networking, as opposed to listening to the news too much about what supposedly is going on out there. I think they would be pleasantly surprised that there are folks doing business and doing quite a bit of business in this area.
Little festive music here on One North Main, and if you're a fan of festive music, I'm sure you're a fan of parades. And guess what? You're in luck. Coming soon to the City of Champions is the annual Holiday Parade. It takes place on the first Saturday following Thanksgiving in what else but November, and BCA will be out in full force covering this parade. You'll see it air numerous times on our channels between November 29th and Christmas time. So, in preparation for this year's parade, we decided to take a look at some of our favorite moments from past parades, and we interviewed parade guru and commentator John Marion. For more, check out this next segment.
I love this time of year. This time of year is the best. It's Christmas. It's festive. It's a wonderful time that you can celebrate family, friends, and it's a great time for children. And that's first and foremost. The Christmas parade is taking on an unbelievable form this year. There's so many people that are interested. I've had the luxury to be able to go out into the community and to really talk to people in packs, go to the schools, energize everybody into coming down and celebrating Brockton community, what we're all about here. We're a fabulous community, and it's great to talk to all these different factions and let them know what's going on. We've been doing this for a better part of 15 or 18 years, and they all have special moments. The most important memories that I have is actually watching the children. And if you go back 18 years ago and you see some of these children in the parade, they're parents now, and their children are in the parade. And it's just a phenomenal cultural happening. Everybody is into this. What can we do? How can we get involved? What can we build for a float? How much better can our float be? They're actually working on floats the day after the parade going into this year. So, unbelievable memories. One of my favorite things in pre-parade is when we get to visit the Santa window. Now, of course, we have a window right next door here, right next door to Tuxedos by Marion in Independent Associates. They decorate the window in the very spirit of Mr. James Edgar, who, of course, is the first department store Santa in the country. Yes, before Macy's and before all of them, Mr. James Edgar was, in fact, the first department store Santa. One year we had these historical characters from Brockton's past. We had Mayor Keefe, who was our first mayor. We had Thomas Edison, who was not from Brockton, but has a lot of historical significance here. We also had James Edgar himself and Daniel Waldo Field. I actually look forward to watching my brother get out there and, run around in that hat of his that is usually made by some foreign land and sent over a week before, prepared for my brother Paul, so that he can get out there and interview all the different wonderful groups and organizations that get involved. I suppose really one of my favorite things is being able to talk about these great people that come out to celebrate this great city. And here I am, I'm able to talk about them. One of my favorite groups to watch are the young little girl cheerleaders. Those are awesome. I mean, they get out there, they do these dances, and you might as well say that they're professionals the way they get involved in it. It's the best parade in the country. Lighting of the tree ceremony is great. Everybody gathers in City Hall Plaza and songs are sung. You light the tree and everybody's festive. It's just a wonderful time. The week before, we're going to have our parade kickoff. The mayor's office, city councilors, historical people. We're going to try and set a record and hopefully get accepted by the Guinness World Book of Records to have the most people in Santa hats. If we can set a record, that's the greatest thing. Kick the parade off, but more important, to bring awareness about this great man who was very philanthropic, who loved children, did a lot for the city. His name was James Edgar, the first department store Santa in the country. So eat your heart out, Macy's.
Well, that will do it for yet another episode of One North Main. Remember, even though the show is done, the fun doesn't have to stop now. Check us out online at www.bcatv.org.
Or if you have any suggestions, you can email us at oneandthem@bcatv.org. From everyone from BCA, I'm Newbie Ratto.
And I'm Peter Zimbor. We'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.